Hello, I'm Mark David Shaw, and this is my political worldview. We've already analyzed Saul Alinsky, the utilitarian, and the communicator. From this point forward, we will be looking at Saul Alinsky, the tactician. Now we get to discover the actual rules for radicals. There is no question that our President Barack Obama is a disciple of this book. When you listen to his speech, he merely supplies synonyms to Saul Alinsky's words. For instance, consider the word radical. Obviously, the president will not admit to being a radical. After all, he saves that title for Republicans because of the negative denotation it brings. Look at the definition of the noun radical. It means a person who advocates fundamental political, economic, and social reforms by direct and often uncompromising methods. Does that not sound like our current president? If you will remember his promise to the American people, then you are aware that he promised to fundamentally change our government. Make no mistake, Obama is a radical. This is why it is so important that as a citizen of this great country, I must be vigilant in watching my government. But not only I, so must you. We are the guardians of the future generation. It is our responsibility to inform them and equip them with the knowledge that they need to maintain their freedoms. It is our duty to fight for those timeless principles that our founders left for us to steward. We also revealed in an earlier episode that Saul Alinsky believes that a perceived crisis is necessary to produce action in a people. How many times did we hear the left say, "Don't let a crisis go to waste"? They were following rules for radicals. It was the Democrats, I repeat, it was the Democrats who wanted to use a crisis to manipulate, yes, I said manipulate, the American public so that they could do something that Americans would never support without the presence of a crisis. Face it, the Democratic Party is untrustworthy. They have violated that most sacred trust of the American people. It is time to call things as they actually are. As a political party, they are corrupt to the core. Nevertheless, hold up your head, patriot. We will defeat them. The Alinsky method is flawed, it is immoral, and it is untenable in the long run. They might have short-term victories, but as the people catch on to their underhanded tactics, they will pay the price for violating the people's trust. This is why we need to understand the rules they operate by. So, on to the first rule. Alinsky states the first rule is, power is not only what you have, but what the enemy thinks you have. Well, on the surface, there seems to be nothing wrong with this statement. However, if one throws out morality, then anything goes. Keep in mind that the same person that said that said power has always derived from two main sources, money and people. Lacking money, the have-nots must build power from their own flesh and blood. A mass movement expresses itself with mass tactics against the finesse and sophistication of the status quo. The have-nots have always had to club their way, unquote. Any revolution will find it necessary to fight to win. However, not every revolution is based upon moral grounds. To just say that one must win at all costs ignores the principle upon which that fight is waged. When the goal is to grab power, as Alinsky has already admitted, then this begs the question. On what basis do you feel the need to grab that power? And upon what moral foundation are you appealing in your actions? Real power is found in humility and love. Real power is showing the world that you are guided by timeless principles and that you can be trusted to act upon those principles, whether it is friend or foe. Alinsky's model is merely to deceive your way to the throne. The heir apparent has done just that. We are proud of our revolutionary founding because our fathers revolted on moral principles, which were clearly stated in our Declaration of Independence. As a contrast, look at Castro's revolution in Cuba. That ended in a totalitarian, communistic form of government. Yet the rhetoric Castro was spouting at the time was based in moral language. Reality check, change is not always good, nor is it always moral. Why else would Alinsky declare that you need a crisis to get people to do what you want? Could it be that people are normally going about life in a principled way, and you need a crisis to change that? People are not always so moral when they're faced with a crisis, yet these are the lengths to which your Democrat political representative is willing to go to achieve power. They are willing to deceive the American public in order to implement their agenda. I was told that one's representatives were to represent the people, not their own personal wills. I thought that they were supposed to be guided by our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence. I thought that government was supposed to fear the people. Now, the people fear their government. How can they not? After the Benghazi debacle, the IRS scandal, the NSA revelations, the border crisis, and now the threat of the Ebola virus within our borders. What has this government done that would reveal that they had the people's back when doing what they do? The fundamental basis for civil government is to protect our inalienable rights. If we don't act now, what will come next? Our representatives are proving on a daily basis that they are more concerned with how something looks to the rest of the world rather than the safety of those they represent. Great men and women do not just speak, they act. We can all act. We can all get involved. And trust me, when we all get involved, government will again fear the people. And that is my political worldview. Thank you.